Welcome along then to our coverage here on LUTV. It is Fulham versus Leeds United in Premier League 2 Division 2. The game from the London School of Economics. And Leeds United's team yet to make their way on to the field of play. But we'll start with the home side. It is George Wickens, Luciano Diora-Henry, Conor McAvoy, Idris Odatayo, Ziad Laraket, Jonathan Page, Therese Francois, Adrian Pachazetti, Fabio Carvalho, who's one of the danger men today to watch out for, Sylvester Jasper and Terry Ablaid. And the bench for Fulham today is Luca Murphy, Les Giroux, Jordan Aina, Jean-Pierre Thierry and Lucas Ashby-Hammond. As we said, now Leeds United are finally on the field of play and get ready for the starting 11. It is a youthful looking team today. It is Elia Capil, Curtis Jame, Liam McCarron, Jack Jenkins, Ollie Casey, Noah Kenner, Crescencio Somerville, Jamie Shackleton, Sam Greenwood, Stuart McKinstry and Bobby Camwer. The bench for Leeds is Danny van de Hooivel, Niall Huggins, Chris Moore, Charlie Allen and Max Dean. So first of all, great to see Max Dean back on the bench after a couple of weeks out with a slight injury. There's other games this afternoon, all kicking off at the same time. It is Newcastle versus Crystal Palace, Sunderland versus Reading and Wolves versus Norwich. Myself, Tom Hill and Ben Parker are bringing you all the action once again this afternoon. Ben, it looks a lovely afternoon in Fulham and it looks a quite beautiful league table. Leeds United 9 points clear, and unless you were in and under a rock and not have any internet signal for the last 10 days, Leeds United were crowned champions and will be promoted in just a couple of weeks' time after that victory against Aston Villa. And it's nice to look at the table, Ben, and look ahead of this game knowing the job is done. There's some young players that get the chance to impress, and those teams in the playoff can all scrap it out and fight away.
Good afternoon, Tom. Good afternoon to everybody else. And you're right, what a beautiful sight that is. And I'm just not talking about you, talking about the league table, of course. It's, as we said, against Aston Villa, when we got crowned champions, it's been well deserved. It's been fantastic to follow this group of players. But now the challenge is, don't be complacent, because you don't want to throw all the hard work away by just limping out of the course of the rest of the season. They'll want to get maximum points, win every game between now and end of the campaign. And the likes of Somerville and Greenwood, who were involved with the first team on the bench against Manchester United yesterday, these are the players who wanted to push forward and get into Marcelo Bielsa's plan. So there's still a lot to play for this group of players.
Yeah, Leeds not too often have worn this away maroon strip this season for the 23s, but it's certainly good things for the first team if you believe in that sort of omen. And let's hope, fingers crossed, it continues in the same fashion, unless the formation, which it has surprised me in the past, Ben, is different. It would suggest to me that Sam Greenwood will get a chance to lead the line, which is something he did at the start of the season. He's wearing the number 9 shirt. There's no Joe Gallagher today, and it should mean he's the man through the middle. And it's a big game for him because he's got 9 goals this season. Joe Gallagher has had 11, and we know with the form he's in, especially if the ball's in a dead ball situation, he's in terrific form. But if he can get a couple of goals, he and Joe Gallagher have a shootout next time out to try and become top scorer for this team this season. But defensively, they've got work to do first, and Noah Kenner deals with that impeccably well. But then the pass is really risky, and a chance here for Fulham. It's a great save from Caprill. Leeds scrapping away, and eventually the keeper gets his hand on the ball. And I'm sure when the game settles down, Ben, Noah Kenner's going to go and give him a pat on the back, because without those reflexes, which we've seen all season long, how good he's been at bailing his teammates out, Fulham should be 1-0 up inside a minute.
What a save. And I always find for goalkeepers, earlier on in the match, it's always more difficult trying to find your position, settle into the match. But to save that there, made himself big. Don't matter how you keep out any part of the body, goalkeepers will try and use everything these days. But no, it's a really, really good early save.
Yeah, good confidence booster for him, and Casey will try and lead the line at the back, controlling him and Noah Kenner's movement. Noah Kenner's played centre-back a number of times for this team. He's more than capable. He just got his bearings a little wrong, so I'm sure we'll learn from that. He's a quality operator, and so is this man alongside him at right wing back, Cody Jame, who will skip inside towards Jenkins, who was so important in that game against Aston Villa. Had a more advanced role with Adam Forshaw back in the mix. Liam McCarron came on and was impressive off the bench. This time he's won a free kick at left back. And it does look like Bobby Camwer will play left midfield today, for starters anyway, whether that changes or not. And Somerville will play on the right. Ball down the line towards Cameron, who we know is very good at holding the play up. He's done just that towards McCarron. Greenwood set off on his way into the box. He was just a little bit too far behind. Somerville there with an impeccable first touch, brings it under control. Back to Greenwood. He can go with his left foot and he will try and whip it towards the top corner. And this one should bounce in Leeds' favour and out behind for a corner. And the bounce is exactly as predicted and a good set piece, but a rather delicate touch there, Ben, from Somerville, which pretty much teed up the entire move.
No surprise, he brought that down. He's been in fantastic form of late, but good play from McCarron going down the left hand side, playing at left back today. We've seen him operate in that position, seen him operate further on the left hand side as well. Big part of his game, getting to the byline, putting those crosses in. Unlucky Greenwood's effort went up behind for a corner.
Yeah, Stuart McKinstry on set piece duty so far as this first one for Leeds. Greenwood sets off on a late run to the far post. It's towards Kenner. Here is Greenwood. He's got options in the box. He's going to go for goal. Oh, and it's smashed in. Too much power from Sam Greenwood, and it's 10 for the season now for the Leeds United number 9. He's got that top scorer spot in his sights, and after a really lively start, it's Fulham 0, Leeds United 1.
You can just see the confidence oozing through Greenwood. Brings the ball down. Lots of composure. Didn't panic. Didn't try to overcomplicate it. Just wanted that half a yard. As soon as he gets that half a yard, you can see him just movement drifting to the far post. Drags onto his right foot. Bang. Power, pace, precision. And you mentioned the little competition between him and Joe Gellart. One behind now.
Yeah, it's going to be a good old battle, that, and if Leeds, of course, can celebrate with the trophy next week, it's a little duel that could be just as exciting to watch throughout the 90 minutes as we hope it's another entertaining game today, another one next week as well, a vibrant end to the season. Just looking at the stats for Leeds United this season, Ben, 17 wins out of 22. It's frightening stuff to say they've not played at this level before. Yes, they've recruited well, and the players beforehand were more than capable enough, but the consistency has been superb. It's 6 wins in 7 on the road. And they've won 4 in a row after that little blip against Crystal Palace in which they lost a man. Compare that to Fulham's form, who have 1 win in 6 and haven't really made this place a bit of a fortress. They are unbeaten in 2, but they'll be very, very lucky to try and finish in the top half of the table. They can do so, though. 2 wins, if they do win this game, which we hope they don't, will take them towards the playoffs. But with teams in form above them, they are likely to miss out this season. But Leeds, with a more stronger team than this one this time out, the Leeds United team on that occasion was a bit more experienced, a few first teamers in it, won 7-1 back in December. So we know that Leeds United certainly have it in their ranks to put a few goals past this team. And out the doors it has been quite impressive as Greenwood gets the flick and Fulham will clear, and it has going to go out for a throw. But Leeds have settled quite well, Ben, since that chance for Fulham inside the first minute.
And they've got to grips with the pitch really well. By viewing it early doors, it's really bobbly, really dry, and we know how we like to play out from the back, the style of play we do try and approach every single game. But with that early goal, it just settles it down, and know you can have that bit of composure to try and play out from the back, and you have to, of course, take your time, take concentration with your little touch, as we've proven. We know when Kenner's passed, but first 5 minutes, I'm sure Mike Jackson will be delighted.
Yeah, the team on that occasion against Fulham, Capriel Drame are still playing, so is Jenkins, but there was Davis, Cresswell, Casey, Poveda, Greenwood, Roberts, Hernandez and Costa. So, as I said, there were a lot of first teamers in the squad that day getting some vital minutes. Fulham perhaps would have fancied their chances. They saw a couple of younger faces, but when you look at the table, they'll know just how equipped this group are. And Sam Greenwood has put them in a good position. And Shackleton takes a nice touch, goes wide, and Leeds win what is another early throw-in. Leeds in their last 5 matches, if you haven't been able to watch much of our 23s coverage, have lost to Palace, then they've beat Wolves, Newcastle, West Brom and Aston Villa. On the road they've been just as effective as they've been at Thorpe Arch, and this would have been a tricky spell of the season, just like we've seen with the first team. When Mark Jackson looked at the fixture list, he'd have probably looked at that section of the schedule that was all away from home. They've dealt with it impeccably well, as Somerville does the exact same thing by going to win the ball back and then just gliding his way through the midfield. It's almost as if the Fulham midfield, they were told they wasn't allowed to tackle him. They just stepped off him, and that's one player, Ben, you can't give that much space to, because he he has the pace to go and take it straight through the middle or go wide as well.
Well, I mentioned about himself and Sam Green were both involved on the bench yesterday for the first team. You can just see with the confidence in the play. Some of all they're just gliding past players, makes it look so easy. And him probably epitomises the rest of the team. Improvement game after game as the season's progressed. He's been fantastic to watch.
Yeah, he came into the team a little later than others. Fulham are on the attack. Good ball into the middle of the park, and here is Jasper. He's been forced back though by some pretty resilient man-marking defensive work from Leeds. Shackleton now comes across to put pressure on Pachaziti. Kenner beat to the first challenge, very strong in the second, and it's a very effective challenge because he gets his foot underneath the ball and Drame's pass is blocked. McKinstry decides to back out of that challenge. Could have been a high boot incident. Drame, because of that man-marking system, was still in the middle of the park, and he makes his way back out to right back now. Ollie Casey, who has been instrumental, I think, since the turn of the year for this 23s team, goes wide. It's flicked down the line from Camwa, who's looked very sharp so far. McCarron with the ball into the box. Greenwood was going for it, so was Somerville, and it's going to be cleared away. That ball could have gone anywhere though, and Leeds had that under control. A shot towards goal, and George Wickens in the Fulham goal would have been in big trouble. But I think we could probably talk for most of the afternoon then about the most improved player in this team. But to see Sam Greenwood play the first month and a half of the season as a centre forward, and you thought, right, this is the player that's going to lead the scoring charts alongside Joe Gallagher. Then he drops into midfield, but to still be up there when he's played 6 months of this campaign as a number 8 just tells you all you need to know about his ability all over the park.
Again, there's plenty of players that have played 2, 3, even 4 different positions, and Sam Green was no different. Again, number 9 on his back today, leaded the line, and I think he'll enjoy this because we've seen it, as you said, at the start of the season, scoring goals, enjoying his football, and then he had to operate in a slightly different role for the team. Did an excellent job doing that, but like all forward-thinking players, they just want to get the ball in back of the net, and he's got off to a great start today.
Yeah, inside 10 minutes. If you just join us here on LUTV, myself, Tom Hill and Ben Parker bring you the coverage. Fulham had a big chance inside the first minute, but Sam Greenwood 2 minutes later put Leeds 1-0 up as Liam McCarron is adjudged to have given a free kick away. Referee suggests he's brought down Fabio Carvalho on the far touchline, and he is in double figures himself for the season, alongside John Pierre-Thierry, who's on the bench. So Leeds do have plenty of players still to watch out for. Stood over this set piece is Therese Francois and Sylvester Jasper. And it looks as if it's the left-footed Francois that's going to take this. Number 7, no, Jasper though still there. Jasper steps over it. It's Francois that's going to go for a hanging ball to the far post. Out comes Elijah Gabriel, and he is one of the candidates for most consistent players this season. The goal difference is tremendous because of Leeds' attacking stats, but he keeps them so well organised at the back, as Jenkins will say he means that pass to Drame. Drame inside to Shackleton, Leeds on the attack. Short pass was on, a shot comes in from McKinstry, takes a wicked deflection, and it is going to bounce out for another corner. And Jenkins had options. Yes, he got a little fortunate, Ben, but the fact that he's got Shackleton and Drame, I mean, to have 2 overlapping players, you know, it's something you rarely see, isn't it? I mean, Shackleton did go for the underlapping route first, but they were both there as an option for him.
Blink of an eye, defending a wide free kick. Out comes Eli Caprill, and we know he doesn't like holding onto the ball for too long, straight on the counter-attack. As you mentioned, blistering how quickly we get forward leads to a corner.
Yeah, McKinstry stood over this. He's got Shackleton going near post. Greenwood will peel away to the back and perhaps just didn't commit his run enough. And Fulham do have the chance to clear their lines. Takes a deflection off Greenwood. Now Drame takes control. Like Casey all the time trying to direct traffic as he tells Drame where to play that. Doesn't tell Jenkins where to play that. That's all in his own work. Beautiful work to play in McKinstry, who just got a little bit confident with the back heel to Bobby Camwa, but that's the sort of play we expect from this team. They're more than happy to try their flicks when they get the opportunity. Unfortunately for Leeds, that one did not work out in this penultimate game of the 23 season. It has flown by. Been terrific to watch the players glide up that table, learn their lessons after a heavy 4-0 defeat on the opening weekend. Yet here we are on top, and certainly looking like they're going to be the team that gets the second goal rather than Fulham equalising. Somerville back on the attack. Slides in Shackleton. It's a beautiful ball across to Greenwood, and he manages to scuff it, just gets it underneath the studs, and you can tell by his reaction how big of a chance that is. What a beautiful ball from Crescencio Somerville, so well weighted. Shackleton again, he is the master at doing everything right for the team, is Jamie Shackleton. Always puts someone first, plays it back into a great area, and one-on-one, Ben. Sam Greenwood with a simple finish. I'm not sure, we can believe he misses it, but it's good to see that he can't believe it either.
You mentioned about a beautiful pass from Somerville. It'd have been a beautiful team goal. As soon as we inject that bit of pace, a bit of quality, Fulham just getting stretched apart at the back, and the big surprise, he just didn't hit the target, scuffed his shot. And we mentioned the form has been in obviously the early goal today as well. Fully expect him to find back of the net, but fantastic team build up.
Yeah, no, Kenner puts himself in the firing line, wins a free kick. Not sure if it was the foul on Ken. The referee's pointing in a different direction, but the free kick is taken at a similar spot, and now Kenner goes wide to Cody Drame. It's a firm surface. London School of Economics. Leeds are certainly taking advantage of it. Fast tempo play as Drame has to come across now and try and stop the Fulham attack. He's beaten that time as the pass goes down the line. There's an opportunity here for Jenkins to do some defensive work, and he does it very, very easily. Just a little shoulder tap, a little nudge, uses that power. Leeds again back in control in the heart of defence. Easy goes to the crossfield pass. Well, McCampbell's trying to bring it under control. He's done very well. Just that last touch was too much. Took it wide, but on a case, we've seen Charlie Cresswell being very open to the crossfield ball from centre back. It's something that Matt Jackson likes them to do. In other cases, his pass was just as effective there. She nips in. Fulham just struggling to get into any form of rhythm, Ben, which is mainly down to Leeds doing, not their own.
Must be so difficult to play against us because we don't give the opposition a second on the ball. We're always fighting to win it back. The speed that we attack, the aggressiveness in defence, it's an all-round kind of performance we're putting together, and you can see the players. Yeah, we are champions, but the determination, as we said before kick-off, to go out, improve, win every single game, and ultimately they want to get involved for the last 5 games with the first team. Can they get on the bench? Can they make an appearance? And these are all the incentives that I'm sure Mark Jackson will be saying to the players. But over to you boys now. Can you go impress the first team manager?
Yeah, it's certainly the next yardstick for them to aim for as Fulham take a throw. Jenkins back to Kenner, who again is in the right place at the right time. That pass invites Greenwood, but also invites George Wickens off his line to clear out for yet another Leeds United throw. Greenwood tries to thread that ball through to Shackleton. Fulham deal with it just about, but only as far as Greenwood, who just shields it for the time being, goes wide to Camwer, who I was going to say he's looking like he's going to try a flick and did just that, give the ball away. Now he's got to work a bit harder to get back, and now they're a bit exposed because McCarron was further forward. Jenkins gets in with a slight touch to slow them down. Shackleton gets back and the free kick will be given. I think it's for Jenkins' foul, Ben, rather than Jamie Shackleton's. But that all came about from a slightly heavy touch, and Leeds had gone for the double overlap again with McCarron and Camwer, and just got caught out, and it's almost like a challenge that Jenkins had to make, really.
Kind of, but I'm thinking it has to be the foul from Jenkins because Shackleton did nothing wrong. Kind of just fell over before Shackleton got anywhere near him, dispossessed the play with the ball, and to me that was a fair challenge, but obviously the referee must have seen something wrong with the Jenkins one, pulled it back. But again, you're working hard to win the ball back. Yeah, we're going to make mistakes, we're going to give the ball away, but it's about reactions, and the reactions were superb then.
Yeah, Somerville pushes McCarron away. Eli Caprilla's happy with a one-man wall as Fulham's free kick is very high, so towards the far post, headed back into the box. Not the worst set piece, to be honest. Fabio Carvalho trying to head it back into a dangerous area. Luckily for Leeds, Eli Caprilla was on hand to clear the danger. So it's Cody Drame who gives it towards Greenwood. It's a free kick. And also the linesman said it's a free kick. The referee will indicate and follow suit, and I don't know what Sam Greenwood did wrong there. He tried to prod the ball down the line. As he handled it, maybe? I'm not sure. But you see anything in that, Ben?
Well, Sam Greenwood's a bit confused, and so am I, to be fair, Tom. Just got to the ball, tried to keep it in play, maybe hook it back over the player. Don't know what the linesman saw, to be honest.
I mean, Greenwood's reaction suggests he was just as bewildered as us two. Again, another great counter-attack from Leeds straight away, trying to push Fulham back as Drame gets up, so does Casey. Casey again, this time he had a bit more time to set himself with a more powerful header, but straight away he's having to readjust. That's 3 important headers from him, and now Leeds have to show the tougher side of their defensive work to release McCarran. McCarran tries to get it up and down the line towards Bobby Camworth, and just never seemed, Ben, like he had it under control there. McCarran, it was always bobbling, it was always being forced wide. As a result, he just played a bit of an ambitious pass down the line, and Sam Greenwood nor Bobby Camworth could bring it under control. 18 minutes gone, Fulham 0, Leeds United 1, thanks to Sam Greenwood's 3rd minute strike. So wayward goal kick gives Leeds the chance to get straight back on the attack, and from throwing situations they're very busy. They like to zip around the park, and again McKinstry peels away. Fulham do read that one quite well, but the wall, which is Cody Drame, just gets in the path, wins a free kick. Does Liam McCarran. Fulham player showing a little bit of needle there, not wanting Leeds to take it quickly. Jenkins does anyway. You know, and Kenner more than capable of stepping out of defence and taking control. We've seen him play holding midfielder throughout this campaign. Beautiful run down the line from Somerville, an exquisite pass from Drame. Somerville's looking really lively, Ben. The runs he's making are so effective. Leeds win a throw, but just how he arched it again, just to get into that little bit of space. The pass was even better from Cody Drame, and now that throw-in is equally as effective. Shackleton has to get out of the way of a high boot. Somerville again will try and dance his way through them. Shackleton's going to go for goal, and it's one of those, I think it was there to be hit, just leaned back ever too much, and it has gone out of play for a goal kick. But essentially Somerville, we've seen him score a hat-trick this season. I'm like, wasn't surprised with Ben to see him get a goal this afternoon. I hope I've not jinxed him, but the way he started, very effective.
The old-fashioned commentator's curse. Cheers, Tom. But he's the type of player which I'm so glad I've retired, because I'd hate to play against someone like him. You mentioned his movement off the ball. It's absolutely fantastic. Whether he gets the pass or not, whether he creates space for someone else, he's always looking to create opportunities either for himself, his teammates, and 9 times out of 10 we always seem to pick the right option. So hard to play against that.
Fulham win a consecutive throw. Now this time inside Leeds' half, but not too much movement. It shows the difference perhaps of what we're used to with Leeds, where they all move around in their certain formation, 3 or 4 players. Fulham are very static there, and only the number 35 of Francois even moved an inch to help out as Fulham clear down the line. It's been kept in play by Casey. McCarran gets to it, so does Shackleton, and Shackleton's got to be busy here because he's swarmed by 3 or 4 Fulham shirts. Headed back by Casey, who's controlled defence well. Somerville gets in there trying to upset the Fulham defence. Shackleton's going to come across, and again his pace will put Fulham under pressure. It's a really different sort of approach, this from Fulham, a bit more shorter passing. It's worked for a little while, as Noah Kenner gets the ball, and Jimmy Shackleton with a bit of a no-look pass towards his centre half. But Fulham have gone through the middle for the last few minutes. This time they've gone wide. Got a little bit of joy, but once Leeds got control, the attack was soon over as Kenner gets it to McKinstry. Here is Drame. Drame inside to Somerville again, who finds space once more. Into the box he comes. He's going to go for goal, and it's a great block from Fulham. You've got to praise them for that, because that ball, Ben, looked like it was going to nestle in the far corner, and I was about to ask for an apology after that cursed comment. I nearly called it.
I could sense you just slowly turning around to give me a little stare then, Tom, because the camera angle we've got here, we're right behind it, and it looked like it was Aaron in the bottom corner, but it gets on the half turn yet again to Somerville.
just the space he keeps finding himself in. Doesn't mind if he's not out wide, he just gets those little pockets of areas to work in. I'm more than happy to come onto his other foot as well to try and find a different angle as Cabrillo goes with a vicious long ball this time, and it's going to be intercepted by Wickens, and it is going to be the chance for Fulham as we cross the halfway point of this first half to try and build out from the back. They've gone into the forward positions now, this time towards Jasper, who wants a runner, doesn't get one too late, and Casey gets there. It's not a bad idea that from Fulham. Casey's defensive work, he read it really well. They come again. Jenkins was beaten, but Cody Drame is on hand again to play centre-back for the time being and go and win it back. And running out of words really for Cody Drame's defensive ability this season. Ben, it's been a joy to watch. Second to none. I think we can count on one hand how many times he's been beaten, but you know, a case of a defender being put under pressure when they're dragged out of position. What can they do when they're not in familiar surroundings? And he seems to get even better, as we'll bring you in a second, because we wait for this attack to happen. And Liam McCarron might get a card here because he's brought down Fabio Carvalho, and I don't think he can complain with the card. He was on his way, going to get in a crossing position. I think the card is out.
Yeah, just got himself in the wrong position to start with, as you said, Tom. And as a fullback, what you're doing, like, you're chasing back onto the attacking players. You bring them down, you are going to get a yellow card, but you think with Cody Drame, the group of players that know him really, really well, better than anybody else, would be the Fulham boys, and you think, don't try and take him on 1v1 because you're going to get absolutely no change out of him. But McCarron, definitely yellow card, unfortunately. He's got to be careful for the rest of the game, we know that. But first and foremost, can we defend this wide free kick?
Yeah, okay, it's a good reminder, Ben, that he's against his former club, Cody Drame. He'll have a real point to prove for a team that he's, I'm sure, got plenty to say to after the full-time whistle when the contest is over. Free kick comes in, it's towards the near post. Camwa gets a slight touch to it, Kenner likewise. Jenkins has got work to do, and so does Kenner. He does it well, he's effective. It's a much stronger clearance. Sam Greenwood's pressure is relentless, and Greenwood's got to the ball. And now can he find a teammate, or can he go for goal himself? He tries to cut it back towards Somerville, and he just doesn't get the direction right. He deserved a bit more luck there, I thought, Sam Greenwood. Fantastic work defensively. And if he just maybe could have cushioned it a little bit more, the support work from Somerville to tap in was nearly there. But we've seen what he can do on the front foot, and that's another sign of his game, Ben, on the defensive side of things. No,
you're right. He deserved a lot more luck than he got there, because the speed that he closed down, the desire, the work rate, for any young striker, well, for any young player watching how to close down, watch that little clip back. Superb.
Yeah, Kenner sidesteps one Fulham player, flicks it in towards Jenkins, who probably Campbell wanted to take control, but Jack Jenkins decided to take them on himself. He's just going to be dispossessed at the final player. Good work in the back line from Diora Henry, who has had his work cut out early doors trying to stop Camwa and McCarron. Nice turn from Odutayo back to Wickens in the Fulham goal, and Odutayo's got a little bit more time to try and get out of defence, but Sam Greenwood is coming. As a result, he plays a poor pass, and he wasn't even in that close range, but it's just the fact that he's got that little doubt in his mind. He's just seen his teammate pressurised as well, and that's what a simple but yet effective defensive run can do. Leeds get a throw and can rebuild again, Ben.
Exactly, just forces opposition players who've got time on the ball, but as you rightly said, they know the challenge is coming. You can hear the footsteps on the ground getting closer, and it forces you into simple mistakes. But it's all down to our press, how we're off the ball, how we're set up, just setting the Fulham players at the back into little traps. They can't go anywhere. It's just really well set up how Mark Jackson's got the team and the boys to buy into that.
Casey to Kenner. Kenner wants one of the midfielders to come short. He didn't get the pass he wanted. I think he apologises to Somerville anyway, because Somerville did make the run. Casey, thumbs up from him because his pass was intercepted. Somerville slips but still has the agility to get up and run a free kick for Leeds, which Fulham think is soft. Again, just before the half-hour mark, if you are joining us just now on LUTV, myself, Tom Hill, Ben Parker, bringing you all the action this afternoon. Leeds United are 1-0 up thanks to Sam Greenwood, who has had a chance to score himself. Scuffed his lines to get a second. Potentially Somerville's gone close as well as Drame skips inside. It's an ambitious run. Now can he find shooting space? Goes for goal, just doesn't get the power. Maybe caught the floor as he hit that. He'd be one player that I would love to see get a goal before the end of the season. Ben, I think he deserves something to cap what has been a marvellous campaign. And the way he's getting more confidence on the ball, I think that was one of the main things you said at the start of the season when we started, that you'd like to see what he can do going forward, because for the first 3 or 4 games he was just so compact defensively, we didn't see his ability going forward. But then as the confidence grows, his array of skills were on show, and this time he gets another one. Bit of a jinx to the left hand side, gets his body out of the way and deserves to get the shot on target. He just didn't have the power, as we get Bond's thoughts in a second, because Bobby Campbell's now going to try and find a way through, as he just wants a touch too many. Still manages to get it to Jenkins, whose touch wasn't the best, forces him backwards. Again to Drame, who decides to go back and play it safety first, and we can now bring you in, Ben, on that ambitious run forward from the Leeds number 2.
No, you're right. The biggest strength of his game is obviously his 1v1 defending. Modern day fullbacks now, they do have to get forward. And again, like a lot of these players have already said, the development, the improvement in the individual games has been great to see. And with Cody Drame, him getting more forward, getting into the attacking third, linking up with the play on that right hand side, he's been doing it more and more as the season's gone on. And you're right about him getting a goal. We'd love him to see get on the score sheet. What better place to do it than at your previous club? I'm sure he'd really enjoy one today.
Yeah, this might be a game where he just stretches the Mark Jackson tactics as far as he can to get in that final third, as McCarran's been beaten by Carvalho. He goes towards the byline and Fulham win a rare corner. I believe that is their first. And then McCarran's just got to watch himself. He is a winger by trade, so he is learning. This is something that he'll have to adjust to if he is forced to play left back. And of course, in the modern day game, left backs can also play a wing back, so he will have to brush up on his defensive side of things. Just been caught the wrong side of Carvalho the last couple of times. The first one he gave a free kick away and got a card. Now Leeds have got to defend a corner. Casey gets up and wins the header. Still not fully clear. Casey goes for a second attempt. Now Leeds have to try and get the block in. It's towards the far post. Nobody there in a Fulham shirt. Somerville will challenge with his opposite number, Sylvester Jasper, and he will win Leeds United a throw. And again, defensively, we've praised Drame, but I think Ollie Casey's been superb so far, Ben.
He's won every single header, and I love to see that from Ollie Casey, because yeah, it's great when centre halves split nice and wide, get on the ball, play out from the back. You mentioned a couple of diagonal passes as well. First and foremost, win your headers, win your duels up front. I'm sure that's what Ollie Casey loves as well. He loves that kind of battle the aerial threat, and you need that sometimes. You need to win your headers, do the ugly part of the game, and then it leaves the more attacking players to be showcase some of the more beautiful things.
Yeah, fingers crossed that's what we get for this rest of this afternoon. We do get a couple more goals to get excited about as Fulham take this throw to the feet of Carvalho. He's looking dangerous. He's been effective for Fulham. He just hasn't had too many touches. Greenwood again nips in front of his marker. Now can he find space? It's a beautiful turn again. Oh, Somerville, he just can't take it out of his stride. Don't know if the pass was too far behind him. I want to praise Greenwood because of the touch and then the pass. You've got to try and praise him, but I just don't know whether the pass was a little way. We'll get Ben's thoughts as the ex-pro. He'll know who was at fault, as Jenkins just about gets beaten, but then recovers. Terrific work defensively again, and go back to that Greenwood chance. He had the touch, he had the turn. Was it his fault for the pass?
I hope he's not listening to this, because I'm going to say yes. But no, the way we broke as well. Shackleton on the left, Somerville on the right. Again, bit of the pitch. Probably a bit Somerville too quick for his own good, to be honest. The way he moved off the ball. Great opportunity for a counter attack. Unfortunately, the pass was just slightly under hit. But it had to be critical because they've done the hard part right. Nice little Maradona turn to create that half a yard of space to look forward. Then again, it just goes back to the point. The players are really enjoying themselves. Yeah, it's only 1-0. Fulham's still banging this game, by the way. but we just look at ease, we look in control, it looks like we can go through the gears whenever we want. And I'm sure Mark Jackson's message will be, we'll get the boys at half-time, can we be more ruthless? That's what he'd like to see.
Yeah, another goal would be the icing on the cake for the first half, as Jenkins gets the ball caught under his feet and does really well just to react, just adjust that split second and then ping the ball to Casey. Gabriel will go wide of the seeking missile towards McCarron. It's brought down effectively by McCarron with his chest. Leeds just showing some good close ball control, very effective. It's making Fulham work a little bit harder. Casey just keep looking down the line for that long pass. He wants the run, constantly asking for it to be made. Somerville sets off, not too far away. Always helped Fulham defensively when Ollie Casey had suggested he was going to make that pass 3 times. Could just take a couple of steps back and get ready. Neat flick down the line from Fulham, and Leeds concede a throw, but again it's just what Leeds need. That's a bit better from that left hand side. Jamie Shackleton's now gone to occupy that little section of the pitch, I think, Ben. Not seen him come this side of the park too much recently. Seems to be going across to help out the McCarron. He's there again. As Fulham recover the ball, it's a ball in behind. They're going to try and get into that attacking zone, but Ziad Larakech is told to get back in his defensive position because Leeds are back on the ball. Just over 10 minutes to go. Reminder of the bench for Leeds, as Noah Kenner's pass is wayward. Reminder, however, Huggins for Allen and Dean. If Sam Green doesn't get the full 90 as number 9, we know Max Dean can come on and be effective for the 23s, or he can go out wide as well if Somerville or Camwa are not going to get the full required 90 minutes. Fulham on the attack though. Leeds have got to switch on. McCarron just gets back in time to stop the first cross. Solid Casey's on hand to put in 2 very effective blocks, and again handball now. And I know McCarron was slightly ahead of the play and then got back. He did recover. He stopped the passing lane, didn't he, Ben? But again, Ollie Casey, we've praised him a couple of times already. Just so effective, and I think it's even more standout from him that we know how good Charlie Cresswell's been, and we know he's got his plaudits. We know he's been capped for England at youth level, but Ollie Casey seems to stand out more when Charlie Cresswell's not playing, because he seems to take control of this defence, and it's not as if they miss a player of Cresswell's quality, and that's nothing to say that Charlie Cresswell doesn't deserve to be in this team. It's just the fact that it's that next man up sort of attitude, and Casey does that perfectly well. His
positional play has been absolutely excellent this game.
That's his first mistake really with that pass there.
And we mentioned about him winning the headers, but getting himself in the right position to make blocks, make interceptions, and yeah, probably like he's allowed to give the ball away. Don't get me wrong, as Somerville picks up a yellow card, just trying to make a recovering challenge, just gets it slightly wrong, tackles the Fulham player from behind, picks up a yellow card. But we're going to need Ollie Casey yet again in these situations to organise, keep a high line. You can see him talking to Noah Kenner, messages gets fed along the defensive line. Don't drop in, don't play people on side.
Yeah, taking this, Sylvester Jasper, he's got 4 Fulham shirts towards the back post, which is where he's looking to aim it. He tries to be a bit fancy. Doesn't get the power. Of course, Fulham scored a playoff final goal like that last year to get promoted to the Premier League. Joe Bryan went the opposite way against Brentford and confused matters at Wembley. Perhaps it's something they work on at all levels. That was a decent idea from Fulham, but just didn't have the required power on the attack again. Leeds trying to force them back. Here is Jasper once more. Skips away from Somerville, who was, I think he was carded for that challenge a few seconds ago when he brought down the Fulham player. The Leeds recover and go wide to Camwa. Effective from Jenkins again. He's just mastered that so far today. Those touches just to get himself out of trouble. Playing a risky game in the fact that he's just taking his time on the ball. The touch there to give himself a bit more space. He goes down the line to Shackleton, whose pace has caused problems. He's got the ball back. Fulham under pressure. Shackleton needs a bit of help here, though, and Somerville has gone across to provide that. McKinstry does as well. He's been quiet the last 5 or 10 minutes, but still has an effective game. He's challenged and wins a Leeds United throw. Just for a second, I thought he was going to go quick into Somerville, but Drame takes control. Somerville is the preferred option. Fancy feet from Somerville, gets the pass to Drame. Is he going to go and try and go alone? 1-2, works it into the box. He comes, goes for goal again. A very similar chance to the first one. Maybe just caught it with the like a raking stud motion, Ben, rather than get his foot behind it. He's just tried to get any sort of contact, and that one I think he thought was going in. A bit of a reaction as Ollie Casey takes control defensively, wins the Leeds United a free kick, and they've just got such a hold on this game, Leeds. But I think you've called it perfectly, Ben. Drame wants to score desperately today. Due to the promotion, which is successful for Leeds, he might not play against his former club for a while.
And he's finding himself into some situations where you're thinking, what are you doing there, Cody? Getting a nosebleed there, but fantastic play down this right-hand side. Little give and go. Nice little flick from Jamie Shackleton. And I think he's just surprised he's found himself 10 yards out from the goal, scuffs his shot. Any other occasion, he could have easily found the bottom corner, but he keeps trying to get forward. That's the right thing to do for Cody Drame. Try and drive forward, get into those right areas.
Wickens his free kick after Greenwood's foul. Ollie Casey yet again deals with the situation. And I'm not calling Noah Kenner the weaker two of the centre-backs, because we know how impressive Noah Kenner's been as a centre-back, but I do wonder if Fulham have looked at this the first half and tactically in the second they might try and target Noah Kenner's side, just because they haven't really done it yet. Every time they've gone at Casey, he's handled it quite well, and Noah Kenner's been always on hand to help him out, but it just seems at the moment I think they're trying to attack that side because of McCarran, but they're not able to get past the Leeds number 5. Doesn't help when Leeds are so well equipped when we've got Drame down one side with Kenner supporting, and then McCarran and Casey, and McCarran's back there now trying to cover for his Leeds United captain this afternoon, which is Casey. I do wonder how Fulham will approach the second half, because this game is still only at 1-0, and you've mentioned it a few times, Ben, it's far from over.
Absolutely, it's far from over. There's an element with us where we just feel we're a bit relaxed watching this game. It seems quite easy, and then you look at the scoreboard, it's still 1-0. So again, Fulham are still firmly in this game. Only it takes a moment to score a goal. But what I like about the two centre halves today, Noah Kenner hasn't really had to do much, because he hasn't had to. It's all been Ollie Casey sweeping up, winning headers, putting blocks in. But what Noah Kenner has done is covered his centre half really well. It allows Ollie Casey to go do all these challenges.
Fulham go towards the edge of the penalty spot with the corner, and there is the danger sign. It's a fantastic header. Got to take the hat off to the Fulham defender, which is number 4, Conor McAvoy. That is pinpoint into the far corner. Elijah Caprill was at full stretch, and he still didn't get anywhere near it. And that is exactly what we were talking about. We don't like to be proven right when it comes to an opposition team goal. But with the chances that Leeds have missed, you just had that cushion that was there to be taken. Could have got a second or third in this first half. They've been in control, they've been on top, that they just lacked that second finish. And there is the sign of this PL2 Division 2, which we've seen all season, that there is no weak team in this division, and everyone will try to the very end. And Fulham have done that. They've got their own campaign to fight for. They don't want to come towards the bottom of the table, Ben. And there is Matt Jackson's team talk ripped up, and he's got a new set of notes with 5 minutes to go.
We mentioned it takes a moment to score a goal, and that was Fulham's moment. Such a sloppy goal for us to concede from a set piece, been in total control. But as we mentioned, if you're not ruthless enough to get the second, get the third goal, rightfully said, some teams will punish you at this level.
Yeah, Greenwood's going to go towards that top corner. Not sure whether Sam Greenwood is showing a sign of frustration there at a lack of chances the last 20 minutes. He's had 2 inside the first 10 and scuffed his lines at the second, got the first. And that's what makes Sam Greenwood so difficult to mark. When he drops off the shoulder, when you play certain players, you know which way they're going to go, because they are one-footed. They're predominantly always going to go a certain side. But you can't do that with Sam Greenwood because he doesn't have one. He's more than comfortable on both feet. They gave him a little space to shoot and he took it, but unfortunately got his bearings wrong. As Leeds will try and end this first half on a high. They do have 3 minutes left to go and get a second goal. Really just adjusts at the last second to make sure he doesn't catch the ball outside the area. And he'll be just as frustrated at everyone else defensively. Ollie Casey will be frustrated. He's a player that we saw against Aston Villa last week, Ben, how much a win or a clean sheet will mean. That block toward the end was so vital to make sure that Leeds could celebrate the title with a couple of games to spare rather than trying to win it this afternoon, as Somerville makes a rare mistake. He tries to go and make amends, and he does that. He picks the pocket of the defender onto the edge of the box he comes, but he's stopped in his tracks by Odutayo, who does the right thing, just stays firm. McKenna copies that playbook and gets there first. As Drame gets to it, he's just about beaten to the ball, but Fulham scrap away with the Leeds United defender. Not sure which way the throw-in has gone. I think it's gone Leeds' way. Fulham digging in now, making life tough. A reminder of the outfield players we could see: Huggins, Moore, Allen and Dean. I think with McCarron on a yellow card, Ben, it's the most natural change to me would suggest for McCarron for being replaced for Huggins at left back.
Oh no, plenty of the changes are all premeditated, so who knows what they've come up with before the game.
Yeah, Greenwood into Shackleton. They could be both. As first team squad members, of course, were making way. They've given up guessing this season. You never know what the tactics are as Somerville tries to get away. He's being pulled back, and Leeds don't get a free kick. This linesman on the near side hasn't given them too much. That's not to say that he's been biased to Fulham, but Leeds, I think, have just been a couple of times they've expected a call. It's not gone their way. Leeds fans would like to see a little bit more from this man on the ball, Stuart McKinstry, in the second half. When he has had the ball, he's been very effective, but just not had too many touches that he would have liked as a number 10. Bobby Canvas touches heavy. He's another that would like to play a bit more pivotal role as the game wears on. Canvas on his way. He's got the strength to get behind the Fulham defender, but Fulham win the ball back. It was Doria Henry putting the pressure on Camera. Casey didn't know too much about where that ball had gone, but he still manages to get the decision to go his way. Leeds got no interest in just taking their time and seeing out this first half at one apiece. They are taking these throw-ins quickly. They want that leading goal that puts them back on the front foot. Here is Jenkins. He's got a couple of players pulling wide. Drame will be one of them. Drame into Somerville. Somerville again. His pace causes problems. Into the middle of the park he comes to Shackleton. Shackleton gets the rebound. It could come back to Somerville. It's going to fall to Cody Drame, who's shown a sight for goal. He tries to play in Greenwood, and Greenwood won't get there due to a Fulham touch, and that should be a corner. And I like that from Cody Drame, Ben, because I think with what we've seen so far and the way he's been playing, I thought he was going to tee that up and go for goal, but I think he disguised that, and Fulham probably expected it, and that pass was so close to picking out Sam Greenwood.
Well, certainly fooled me and you, because I'm with you, Tom. I thought he was going to strike from distance, but great vision, great way to pass. Fulham scrambling at the back, just got slights of touch, was taking him behind, and it's a good job they did, because Sam Green was getting the half turn and bearing down on goal if not.
Yeah, McKinstry to take this set piece into a minute of stoppage time. Big chance for this opportunity for Leeds to end the half on a high. It's just going to be stopped. Shackleton tried to spin away and finish, and there is the half-time whistle. So Fulham 1, Leeds United 1. Sam Greenwood's 4th minute goal counted out by McAvoy's header in the 41st minute. So that's all from us in this first half. Join us in around 15 minutes for the second half coverage. Welcome back to our coverage here on LUTV as Leeds prepare to make three changes, should I say, at the start of this second half. So first of all, we have had Max Dean on in place of Jamie Shackleton. Sam Greenwood will not get the chance to level matters in the pecking order on the scoring charts with Joe Gallagher because he is replaced by Max Dean. And Max Dean will wear the number 17 shirts, and Niall Huggins has replaced Crescencio Somerville. If the fourth officials board is working correctly, which means Liam McCarron will go to left midfield, which is an option that we perhaps didn't discuss, but is certainly viable. And the number 14 then of Niall Huggins. So Huggins goes to left back, which means McCarron goes to left midfield. So the team now is Caprill, Drame, Casey, Kenner, McCarron, Jenkins, McKinstry, Camworth, Dean, Huggins, and the game is nearly ready to get underway. Charlie Allen as well is the replacement in midfield for Jamie Shackleton. So slight delay. Myself, Tom Hill and Ben Parker bringing you all the action, and as we just sat down to get ready for this, Ben said to me a couple of early goals. So Ben set his stall out. Let's hope Leeds can follow suit. And I wouldn't say the word was frustrating in the first half, Ben, because it was an enjoyable game. We nearly scored a couple of great goals, but only had the one. I just think from a high standard perspective, which I'm sure Leeds fans now have, that probably should have at least a 2-goal cushion before Fulham scored. Is the only thing we could be a little bit critical about.
I think Mark Jackson will kind of relish this opportunity to see what the players kind of react to a performance where, yes, we were on top, but we just didn't have that kind of clinical edge. A couple of chances came our way, didn't find the back of the net, and you get punished at the other end, and it's kind of been a while since that's kind of happened to us. So I'm sure Mark Jackson will want to see a reaction. The players are more than good enough what we've got on the pitch. We have to start right.
Yeah, under pressure here though. The shot comes in and Gabriel does well, just because that ball bounced at the very last second before he got his body in the way. Could have gone underneath him, but he deals with it like he has dealt with a couple of shots. Fulham, if he did miss the first half, had a chance in the first minute that they should have dispatched. He just fell asleep a bit at the back, and now McCarron, who's on a yellow card, turns away. So he'll have to watch himself defensively if he comes back to help out Niall Huggins, which to play for this Mark Jackson team he does have to do. Drame had a couple of chances to score against his former club and just couldn't get the ball in the back of the net. So let's watch out for Cody Drame trying to get involved as Max Dean gets back, trying to force a mistake, and he's pressurising, does get Leeds a throw. Great to see the likes of Allen and Dean get a few more minutes. Charlie Allen's last performance for the 23s was perhaps, or arguably his best, since he joined the club last summer. Come with a big reputation, but been managed in the under-18s and caught the eye. And of course, he's got plenty of growing to do. He seems to have added a bit of strength to his game to play at this level. And we know what Max Dean's all about after coming into the 23s. We've seen him play in the cup competitions as well. As under pressure Leeds, Huggins is turned inside, Cavallo goes for goal, Kenner stands in the way of it, and Fulham just having the control of the second half so far, which I'm not sure it's a surprise, Ben, when you take out three of your, it sounds like I'm being sarcastic, of more experienced players in Sam Greenwood, just because of his age. He's still relatively young, and Shackleton as well, but three players that are in the first team sort of mix in Somerville, Shackleton and Greenwood. When you take those out, you are going to need a couple of minutes to adjust, and a few players have moved positions as McCarron gets back across, and defensively that's superb work. So maybe a 5-minute feeling out process.
Yeah, it can be. We've seen that on a handful of occasions when we make those substitutions at half-time. But good credit to Fulham as well. They get the goal just before the half-time break. Gives them a bit of confidence. They'll come out plenty to play for on the front foot. And sometimes you've just got to ride these little periods out, and the likes of Niall Huggins, Ollie Casey like to take the free kick there as well. These players know plenty of experience at this level. they'll know that sometimes you do have to kind of win the battle, and then the game can settle down. We can start playing as football what we want to do.
Fulham win a free kick taken quickly. Kenner, those long limbs of his, stretches out the right leg and brings it under control, and now he charges forward through midfield. Allen had peeled away, and Allen now has Canwa charging across behind him as McKinstry works the 1-2. Jenkins sprays the ball to Huggins. McCarron had asked for it with a little point down the line. He'd made the run, he's ignored. Huggins now picks him out, but the pass is a risky one. It required a stronger touch from McCarron, who maybe just feels with the fact he's on a card he can't risk those robust challenges. And now Casey will shield the ball from getting in behind him. He might concede a throw, but as a centre half he does his job expertly well. Huggins to McKinstry. Here is McCarron. McCarron could have gone back on the inside, but just decides to carry it for a little bit longer. Goes round the first man, tries to get past the second. It's a gutsy run this from Liam McCarron, and he's just going to run out of space, I feel. And he is just nudged off the ball, but he nearly turned something from nothing into a crossing opportunity. And he does have that in his lock. He's one of those players that perhaps goes under the radar because Somerville and co have got the hat-tricks, and McCarron's had to bide his time. He's had an injury as well. So, but close control, he's got pace, and we've seen what he can do with a couple of goals. He got a couple at Newcastle away, and that was an impressive run, that, Ben.
When he plays in that position left of the kind of free forwards, it reminds me of an old-fashioned winger where he tries to get to the byline and puts the crosses in. As you mentioned, it's the likes of the Somervilles. They're the ones who kind of drift in to try and get more of a goal threat. Whereas McCarron, as I mentioned, gets to the byline, stand across into the box, and hopefully one of our attacking players comes and meets it.
Yeah, Allen tries to get to the ball. He's just managed to be shaken off it, and Leeds under pressure. Huggins has got to go across. Fulham just have Leeds stretch for a while. That trick perhaps wasn't necessary, and Huggins goes in on Carvalho, who gets it back. Heavy touch in midfield is not punished from Leeds. Needs to stand on their feet as Allen gets beaten. And now into the box they come. Caprill gets down and saves, and it's a good job he does, because there was a player lurking at the far post ready to try and tap that home, and Elijah Caprill is first on the case to scream the instructions out to Leeds, and just a little bit soft there. Backbone not as firm as perhaps it should have been, and Fulham getting a bit of joy in this second half.
And we've just not started the second half at all. Still, looks like we're still in the changing rooms, and we need to wake up pretty quickly because Fulham are on the front foot. Corner kick, we know how to defend these as well.
Dangerous ball in. Kenner deals with it. It's up towards Huggins. Max Dean had stayed back as a defensive option, so Leeds don't have a counter-attacking opportunity. 6 minutes into the second half, they haven't tested George Wickens in the Fulham goal, but Bobby Canwa brings that under control. Risky pass into Jenkins. Some of these Leeds passes just a little short. Need to get that crispness back as Jenkins is pulled to the floor. The Fulham subs warming up don't agree. The Fulham players don't agree, but perhaps Leeds just needed that little free kick to go their way. But again, Caprill on hand to make an important save. And then when Kenner looks around for an option, not that he gets one any quicker than he wanted it. He was looking right, he was looking left, he wanted Jenkins to come short, but all of them were marked up, so he had to go long, and now he goes to midfield. That's good controlling play from Allen, brings it under control, and Huggins zips past Carvalho. He brings him down. It wasn't that much contact, but free kick all the same. And Carvalho trying to demonstrate that, trying to say it was just a little palm. Huggins knocked off balance, and a free kick, and looks like Casey's going forward, Ben, and McKinstry's been told to put it in the mixer.
Yeah, I'm surprised it's not a yellow card there. I've seen a couple of occasions, definitely the Somerville one, very similar challenge, he gets a yellow card. This is why as a player he gets so frustrated with some of the refereeing decisions, but well, it leads to a great opportunity. Just need good delivery, put it into a good area, and hopefully some of our bigger players can go attack it. Yeah,
McCarron in the number 3 shirt, McKinstry to the left. McCarron steps away, McKinstry puts the ball into the box, it's headed away by McAvoy. Jenkins jumps up, it's a hefty fall. Let's fingers crossed he's okay. He seems to have landed awkwardly. Drame is beaten to this pass, and now Leeds under pressure. Across the box they come. Fulham tee up the ball on the edge of the area. Kenner's getting back. So he's now Huggins, who's out of position, but watching Carvalho's every move in that marking system that Leeds have deployed in the last couple of years. McKinstry is another that comes across. Still to see Jenkins get to his feet. Allen's trying to get back. Fulham on the attack towards the near post. And there is Capril to bring it under control. And now with McCarran. Jack Jenkins does appear to be back on his feet. He's just making his way behind McCarran, so a little slightly winded, had the stuffing knocked out of him. He's a tough boy. He's back on his feet and ready to go again as Drame tries to squeeze the ball through to Bobby Canware. Drame again trying to win the ball back and create a chance high up the pitch for Leeds. Carvalho back into the middle of midfield, and Page gets it wide. Here is Dioria Henry towards Carvalho. That touch was intended for number 10 as Kenner's clips, and Leeds just can't seem to get into their stride as Huggins goes in. That should be a Fulham throw, and it is. And Fulham just winning more of the 50-50 challenges, Ben. They're getting a little bit more of the rub of the green from deflections. It's just, as you know, we often see in football, momentum swinging in their favour. It's a good job that Eli Capril's alert today, because it could have been a different day. A couple of goals up for Fulham.
No, you're right. They are winning every kind of first, second battle. Again, they're just on the front foot. They look more sharper than us at the moment. As I mentioned, there's plenty of time to grow into the game, but we just can't keep giving Fulham opportunities to get into our final third, opportunities to put balls into his box from corner kicks. We've seen how Fulham got that equaliser. We just really need to kind of wake up as a team. It just might be some individual brilliance, it might be a clearance, it might be a pass, whatever it needs, just to inject a bit of life into the team, into this second half. Hopefully we can do that sooner than later.
Corner's taken towards the edge of the 6-yard box at the near post. Leeds under pressure again. I think Jenkins has prodded it wide, and Capril's not happy at the work at the far post. He's just trying to keep on his players' cases. He's encouraging them, but certainly not shy to give out criticism, which is a good sign of a keeper. You've got to be vocal. Ollie Casey, of course, as skipper and the main centre-half, is trying to stop McAvoy, who scored the first goal for Fulham. And the Cottagers coming again. That should be another corner. He's just digging in, which they had to do against Aston Villa last week. Casey again just trying to watch McAvoy, who's now got a helping companion to try and shield him towards the near post. This time Dean gets his first touch of the game, and it's only as a defensive clearance. And over 10 minutes have gone in the second half. It has flown by, but we haven't had too much joy for our perspective as watching Leeds trying to take back their lead. Allen turned, and now he goes back and wins the ball back, and that's good work from the Leeds United sub. Max Dean comes back to try and shield it. He's not as effective. Leeds just need to try and ride this period out without letting the scoreline get away from them. It's all gone very scrappy as the Fulham player takes aim at goal, and Casey, Drame and Kenner's pressure means it's only hit behind and out for a goal kick, which I'm sure all of them, Ben, defensively are very grateful to see. It's a big period in this match of where it is going to be decided, this 5 or 10 minutes. If Leeds can hold out, their confidence level should grow as they start to find their feet, but if Fulham score, then they'll be certainly confident of holding on.
As I mentioned about a performance, sometimes, yeah, we like to see the boys play fantastic football, create chances, score plenty of goals. There is another side to the game, by the way, and we've proven it here. We can work hard as Max Dean nearly gets ahead of the goalkeeper there. And we've seen Max Dean do that over the course of the season, haven't we, Tom? When he gets given a chance, he can get in between those centre-halves, in between goalkeepers, and put the ball in the back of the net.
I was about to say that we've seen Leeds under pressure and Max Dean's bailed them out. He's a player that, as you say, Ben, does thrive on that little counter-attacking style. He He's a bit of a nuisance. He gets himself in tricky situations for defences to handle as Fulham prepare their first change by the looks of things. Not ready to come on just yet, and the tactics being repeated on that bench. Fulham player's gone down. He's claiming he's been caught. No one Kenner. He's trying to plead his innocence, but Kenner perhaps now starting to feel the impact of that challenge. And we have got a pause in the game, I believe, because of that Fulham player's injury. That might allow them to meet the sub, or it might even make them delay it, depending on their original plans. So if you're just joining us here on this Monday afternoon, Fulham 1, Leeds United 1. Sam Greenwood scored inside 3 minutes, opening the scoring for Leeds before McAvoy's header 5 minutes from time, bringing Fulham back level. This is the penultimate game of the under-23s campaign for Leeds United. They do have more games played than some of their rivals. A couple of them have got games to catch up with, but the beauty of Leeds' advantage of a 12-point cushion at the top and the fact they're already champions means it's just the one game for them. And they know where they'll be playing their football next season. It is against the so-called bigger clubs. And the next game is a week today, a 1 o'clock kickoff against Burnley at home, which should be a big occasion for the club to celebrate their trophy. But just looking at the standings for the PL2 Division 1, Ben, the table reads Man City, Tottenham, Blackburn are certainly a championship team, but academy-wise they're right up there. Chelsea, Derby, Manchester United, Liverpool, Everton, Brighton, Arsenal, Leicester, West Ham and Southampton. It is Leicester, West Ham and Southampton that are currently in danger of the drop. Some nice games in there, Ben.
Yeah, some tasty fixtures. Again, really looking forward to us pitting ourselves against the elite under-23 players in this country. Some fantastic teams that do well in Europe as well. But this is the challenge. I'm sure Mark Jackson, the rest of the coaching staff, the players, everyone connected within the academy as well. These are the challenges what you try to rise up against and really embrace it head on. The players, I'm sure they'll take to it. Who knows what might happen next season, Tom? Because we was unsure beginning of this season. We think back to the Stoke first game of the season, didn't go our way that night. You're thinking, is this going to be a learning curve? Well, it has been a learning curve, but all for the right reasons. We've just been getting better and better and better. But next season will be another step up. But as we've seen over the last 2-3 years since us following this team, they do love a good challenge.
Yeah, and while the fans, rightly so, will look forward to those big games against the bigger names. The likes of Derby, Everton have got fantastic academies. Leeds have been on the receiving end of a beating from Derby's team a couple of seasons ago, so lots of revenge to be carried out as well. I'm sure there'll be additions made. There'll be under-18s players stepping up as well. And McKinstry goes into McCarran. And McCarran is able to go wide. The game back underway. It was Terry Ablad that was injured for Fulham. I think he's okay to continue as that cross nearly finds its way in. It will be a goal kick, and the referee is going to stop the game for this sub with the hour mark now past us. And that looked like the number 10, Fabio Carvalho, which is being replaced by Jean-Pierre Thierry. That's one top goal scorer for another. Both players have hit double figures for the season. Clearly a different approach is coming from the bigger frame of Thierry. He's certainly going to give Noah Kenner a rough afternoon. Ollie Casey. What Noah Kenner's thought as he just made his way towards him. Carvalho is more of a trickster. This could get a more physical battle. Ollie Casey, I'm sure, will put his hand up to take on the sub. Sylvester Jasper goes on the left hand side. McKinstry gets in and wins the ball back, and now here is Cameron. He's got Jenkins on his inside. He can release Jenkins, and now he does, and now the move is opening up for Leeds. Jenkins stops in his tracks, wants to try and play it wide. He's gone to the left hand side this time for Huggins. Huggins wants to come onto his right foot, and that always helped the Fulham midfielder get back and help out. If McCarran had got that ball first, it might have been a different tale, because he'd have gone down the opposite flank, but as it is, he wins it back for his team, and Katie gets it And of course, with the sub for Fulham, Ben, Leeds have become a little bit disjointed because of the 3 changes of their own. We've seen it a number of times this season as Koulibaly perhaps makes his first mistake of the season as he misplaces the ball. He's just not had the second half start he would have wanted. Tries to stand them up and win the ball back. I'll make that point to Ben in a second as Drame still refusing to give up on this. Fulham look like they're going to go from range. McKinstry's out-muscled. Shot does come in towards the near post and it hits the upright. The woodwork saves Leeds United. And Bobby Camler gets involved to try and win it back. And now Leeds need his strength. They need a bit more heart on show. I was going to say, Ben, that I would hope for Leeds' perspective, the fact they've taken off Carvalho, who's perhaps been their most effective player, would just give Leeds a bit more respite and a bit of joy. But they've then hit the post and gone the closest to scoring than they have before. So perhaps that isn't going to be something we see. And Leeds need to dig in, Ben. It's a tough start to this second half, 20 minutes in.
Yeah, it has, and I think from what Fulham will be thinking, have they not found that second goal? Because they have been the dominant side. We've worked hard, we've grafted, we've had to put a lot of effort into our defensive kind of work. But you're just hoping that's the wake-up call we need now. Struck the post. Fortunately, didn't find the bottom corner. You're hoping to find those little signs where you said Fulham made a couple of changes. They had that injury break as well. Think, okay, the game's starting to settle down in our favour. Now we can regroup. We can start trying to play our stuff. But Fulham striking that post, we have to be careful.
Yeah, and it's important to remember as well, it is a young team. This is a team that's still very capable. This could still go Leeds' way, but there's a lot of experienced players not playing. There's no Gallagher, there's no Greenwood. One ball down the line. There's no Cresswell, of course, another defensive shield. Adam Forshaw dropped in last week to try and add a bit of experience and get a bit of minutes, which he got just over 80. And when you are turning to Allen, Huggins and Dean, they're all players that have impressed immensely this season, but they are still young. Max Dean's only just turned 17. Got a contract as well. I think it's his first game since he got that contract, so a bit of a late congratulations to Max Dean. Huggins gets a touch on the ball. Drame following his man all the time. His left midfielder had come across. Drame just shows too much to a Fulham player. This time he gets in and wins the ball back, and that'll give Drame's confidence a little boost. He just had it not all his own way in this second half. A couple of misplaced touches and players have gone down his side. Fulham on the attack. Ball squeezed in behind. Casey tries to get across, and Ollie Casey deals with it, keeps it in play. That's helped Leeds out though, because they've got the ball back. McKinstry, this is a bit better from Leeds, had to be quicker with it though. Jenkins stands on the ball, tries to bring it out of trouble. Jenkins, he's done really well there, but I thought the Fulham player was going to pick his pocket and come forward out of midfield, but he didn't. Now Dean's got there, and that ball might ricochet towards Liam McCarron, who's got the wrong side of the defender. McCarron into the box, he might have to go for goal, he does. And that's unfortunate for Liam McCarron, because he had split seconds to react, Ben. It's great work defensively from him to keep tracking the run, and when he's taken the touch, he doesn't have anybody else alongside him, so he's then got to think, all right, where can I place it? Unlike Sam Greenwood, he couldn't nestle it inside that near post.
But elements of what we did so well in the first half, closing down from the front, Max Dean working ever so hard, and then McCarron just couldn't get it quite out of his feet. Great forward run by him though. And these are little encouragement signs that gives you confidence. You're thinking, okay, we've weathered a bit of a storm, we've had to work ever so hard. Can we now start putting our stamp onto this game?
Yeah, it's just those little bits of positivity, isn't it, Ben, to just try and build on. I was just about to make the point when Jenkins got caught on the ball, but then he made a real big impact with his run, that Leeds' passing has maybe just gone out the window a little bit. There's no short passing. They're not trying to go through the midfield or go through the motions and bring each other onto the ball. It's all a bit messy. There's a couple of times where I thought a player could have made a simple 5-yard pass and let someone else go, and they've gone for a long run of their own. McCarron's done just that now, but he's made an effective run as well. Now he's whipped it wide to McKinstry. Bobby Camwer's central. Allen's gone wide. He tries to pick out Camwer. McCarron can't get on the loose pass, and Leeds Now to turn to the defensive side of the game as McKinstry goes in. The Fulham player slips. Here is Bobby Camwer. Camwer, the ambitious step over. And there's a bit of a pattern forming here from Leeds' team where it's just one trick too many, one touch too heavy. And I think Matt Jackson will be screaming for basics, which this is what an experienced player of Jimmy Shackleton would provide.
Yeah, you're right, basics. It's such a funny saying in football, do the basics right. So often harder to do than actually it sounds to say to do, but that's what you need. You don't have to go for the juggle every time we get the ball, thinking we have to create something. So it's like we'll give the ball away in the final third yet again.
Yeah, kind of gives the ball away, nearly tries to, well, he does try and bring the player down, but fails, and Fulham whip it wide of the far post. And another warning sign, the wind picked up at the end of the pitch. You can see by the corner flags just that it's not going the Fulham way. The wind is on Leeds' side, but you wouldn't know that. It's not that they've got any advantage to push forward. Fulham have dealt with the second half really well. This is a result that will push them further towards the mid-table positions. Leeds, of course, know as the promoted team already. It's the team, the title winners. This result won't affect their overall position, but we know the perfectionist that Mark Jackson is. He'll be disappointed if this doesn't go Leeds' way. So will the players. They've set impeccably high standards this season as Fulham come again. They're clearing it's a throw-in, and McKinstry headed that. Looks like Leeds have got the decision. Karen having his shirt pulled, could have been a free kick, and the referee gives advantage. Great officiating that, and now McCarron on his way. Will he go for goal? He might have to now. He's run out of options. He does go for goal, and this time he gets a little closer than his previous attempts. It's one of those, Ben, where I think if he could have that moment again, he might have passed to Huggins, but once he'd ignored it, again his options were very limited.
I think he was always trying to find Huggins. Great run from Niall Huggins. See him coming to the shot there, real pace, but they're just three Fulham defenders around him, no real space to find the pass, and then once he goes on his own, he's always drifting wide, it's always a tight angle. But I just think we might have changed the shape a little bit. It looks like we might have gone to a back three. McKinstry right wing back, Niall Huggins left wing back. So McKinstry in a lot deeper position than we usually find him in that midfield role.
Yeah, it's a good spot, Ben. Drame is a bit more central at times. We'll see if that's something that continues. Drame digs the ball out to Jenkins, and he's just going to have to try and quarterback this team around the park. Jack Jenkins is that number 4 shirt. Kenner is nudged off the ball. Allen's touch was wayward. He wasn't a great pass, and now Kenner's out of position, but Ollie Casey steps up with an important touch and a second one.
Excellent.
And Ollie Casey wins the third. He wants a free kick for a handball. You can hear Ben's thoughts alongside me, and that might just give Leeds that lift they need. Just give them that little confidence boost that this is going to be a real battle. We keep talking about it. We know how much Ollie Casey loves to roll up the sleeves, so they say, and just dig in. And that was a really important moment because Fulham had got the ball back after 2 sloppy touches. Noah Kenner, you believe Ben is playing into a middle of a back three, and Leeds were under some serious pressure there.
We were. As soon as we gave the ball away, out of position, out of shape. Fulham had the overload 3v2 in their favour, and Ollie Casey had to make that decision, timed it perfectly to make the interception, go to the ball. If he hadn't done, the space would have been to play it out wide, through on goal. But he timed the interception absolutely superb, and we spoke about his block, the final moments against Aston Villa to get that 3 points, to make us champions. That's just as good in my opinion.
Yeah, very effective as Huggins ignores the run of Jenkins. McCarron will have to make a more ambitious move. I'm not sure whether Bobby Camwer's gone to play up front and Max Dean's gone out wide. Cam was one of the main options from that throw-in. Leeds player McCarron is upended. Free kick appeals are ignored, as here is Allen. Good first touch, takes him away from the Fulham player. I think Ben's got it spot on the back three adaptation for Leeds. McKinstry playing a bit deeper. Casey, Kenner and Drame alongside him. Here is the latter. Heavy touch from Jenkins, who's a little bit exposed in the middle of the park. He needs a bit more help, and now Fulham on the attack again. Casey steps up, Kenner comes across, it's a shot dragged wide the far post, and Jean-Pierre Thierry is not able to add to his tally for the season. They keep knocking on that door, but Leeds are getting away with it. I wonder if it's going to be a case, a matter of time, or can Leeds find that goal? We've seen them so many times this season find a goal from nowhere. That's a hard chance to score, at least for Fulham. They've gone close, but that'd have been some finish to score from there. Yeah,
it would have done. It'd have been a great goal from Fulham's perspective, but again, too much space down the sides. You can see Mark Jackson shifting to the back three or back five, however you want to look at it, just to try and get more of a foothold into the game, look more solid defensively, have more numbers at the back. But Fulham still finding those gaps, finding those spaces.
Yeah, they come again, the Cottagers. Kenner steps up, gets the tackle, is unlucky, doesn't get the ricochet to go his way, but Drame steps in behind. Again, just looking a little light in the middle of the park, Leeds, as Huggins gets to the ball. Just try and get it out of his feet. He's going to play it to McCarran, who I must say his close control is superb. I do wonder sometimes if the 1-2 is the quicker option, but he manages to actually find space in the most impossible of situations where you think he's going to get dispossessed. Jenkins again. Leeds are just not winning that midfield battle. Kenner, important tackle. Game goes on. Leeds players stopped there for a second. Drame didn't, and that's important clearance away as Dean will chase it down. I do wonder if the formation change perhaps, Ben, is confusing matters for a couple of them. Because it does look like there's a man light in the centre of the park, but again, there's young players in the middle of that midfield. You've got Allen, Jenkins and McKinstry, all players that not too long ago would have all been eligible for the 18s.
Yeah, very young team. And full credit to them boys to making the step up into the under-23s. And by the way, it is a big step up at the moment with the club, the standard we're playing at this level. But I think we're just going to help ourselves out as a team by just playing in the correct areas. You mentioned doing the basics not too long ago, Tom. We can do the basics by not playing balls into midfield when someone's heavily marked on a bobbly pitch. You can see the ball just bobbling up for Niall Huggins there. Good close control. Great switch of play as well.
Better that from Leeds. Huggins to McKinstry, who's going to try and take them on. He's got the pace and skill to do so. Just a bit of a heavy touch that time. He's only able here to concede a throw, and you can tell by his body language he's a little bit disappointed in himself. As we know that we always praise his communication skills, even though they can be quite negative to his teammates. It's more of a to try and G up their ideas. He sets high standards of himself and his team. And he'll be leading them across that part, trying to get the job done at one apiece. Not sure if he's picked up a slight knock, just feeling the lower leg, unless he's just rolling the sock up. He scoops it down the line to Cam. That's better from McKinstry. And now Cam's pace is effective. Gets to the byline, across towards Dean. Oh, Dean took it off Charlie Allen's head. It's gone for a goal kick. If you're a centre forward, though, who's barely had a touch since coming on, you're not going to get out of the way. But I think if we could have replayed that and took Dean out of the situation, Allen had a better header opportunity, Ben.
Feels positive. That's what we liked. Good work from McKinstry down the right. Bobby Camwer as well. This is what it's all about. Little step over, gets to the byline, pace and power. Great cross. And you're there. It's a split-second kind of decision you make as a striker. He's definitely not going to duck out of the way of that. Even if you did get a call from Charlie Allen, it's so hard to back out as a striker. But first real kind of positive play, attacking-wise, we've had in this half. Again, still plenty of time to go. 13 plus stoppage.
Must say as well, great run from Allen. You know exactly where you want your centre midfielder to be as an attacking player as well.
And that's a big part of Charlie Allen's game. Again, a young player, come over from Northern Ireland last summer, and by all accounts has been really impressive in training. He's a polite individual off the pitch as well, head down, working hard. It's not been easy for him to settle as well. You're thinking a young player coming over from, albeit from Northern Ireland, but with COVID, the pandemic in place as well, he's settled really well into the club and put some good performances in with the under-18s. And that's how you get your chance with the under-23s as well.
Yeah, fingers crossed it's the start of a bright future for him and a number of those players that he's played with alongside at 18 level. And he's under pressure, long ball forward. Kenner comes across. Fulham shaping if they're going to go for the first time cross. Drame tries to stop that from happening. Here McCarran look like they've got that under control, but Fulham get away. A couple of tricks on the edge of the box, and that's what Leeds want. Fulham have just lost that momentum ever so slightly. It's a bit more of an even game now, and the McCarran turn is effective. He went a free kick, and I think he's had a big second half. Liam McCarran, he's just stretching off the calves. I'm sure one of those gels were making its way across to the pitch towards him. That's what happens when you play left back and left midfield for this team. Cramp is often an issue as Oliver Casey directs the players, position them almost like the puppet master where he wants them to be. And now pings the ball down the line looking for Max Dean, who gets up well, not well enough to win the header but still puts pressure on. Down the line Fulham will come. Leeds have to trek all the way back towards the edge of their own box. They do that with Cameron McKinstry, and they have to check the pass, and they did that as well. Drame, like he does so many times in each game, gets up, wins the ball, nice interception, sets the tempo for Leeds with an attacking run. Jenkins just trying to twist and turn out of trouble. And now McCarran goes down the line to an advancing Niall Huggins. Huggins doesn't have too many options for a short pass. He whips it towards the edge of the box. Here is McCarran onto his stronger left foot. If he'd have had the confidence to go with his right, there was a shooting opportunity. And that's what we're saying about Sam Greenwood. If that's Sam Greenwood, he wouldn't have cared which foot it was, Ben, would he? He'd just took the touch and gone for goal. McCarran just wanted that second to get onto his stronger foot. And I think it's McAvoy that's gone down with an injury for Fulham as a lower leg injury.
But again, positive play. Great little ball from McCarran initially to Niall Huggins. Again, overlapping down the left-hand side. Great pass back to McCarran. I don't blame him trying to get back on his left foot. I'd have done exactly the same. But what we're doing now is sustaining attacks. It's hard for Fulham to keep hold of possession like they have done for the most of this second half. And this is how you sustain attacks. This is how you grow into the game, by having the turnovers quite regularly. And you can sustain attacks from doing that. So big 10 minutes coming up if we want to get all 3 points.
Yeah, Casey on the ball, and as you say, Ben, into the final 10 of normal time. We've had to see Leeds peg back a little bit today. It's a rarity, but it is something that just shows you how competitive the league will be next season after promotion. Leeds, I'm sure, will recruit and they'll develop these players that are currently in the mix. I'm sure there'll be a couple of loan deals as well for some. And the aim will be to just stay in that top flight of academy football and build from there. Huggins unlucky, he gets up but just doesn't get the required touch to get it down the line. And now Fulham back on the attack. They've got the ball with Obladi trying to get past Noah Kenner. Noah Kenner stands him up. Both players appealing for a decision to go their way. It is Fulham that have got it. Noah Kenner, though, tracking the runner. Has become a bit more stretched this game. Allen, the man that's just going to mark the edge of the box, making sure Leeds are well equipped around him. He's just trying to watch for the short corner. Towards the far post, Fulham bodies queuing up. Another really powerful header, and Max Dean, if he's not there, it's 2-1 Fulham. Great goal line clearance. And McCarran needs to be quick here. He's caught on the ball. Fulham on the attack. Leeds under real pressure. Casey comes across, gets a slight touch to it. Shot's going to come in. It's going to go wide, and Leeds breathe a sigh of relief again. And there is Elijah Caprill. And no wonder Liam McCarran Ben doesn't look fully over that shoulder. Looks at the bench, and I'd not turn around as well if I was him. I felt sorry for him because he had no help, but got to be quicker there.
Certainly get off the hook there, because usually a striker, Max Dean, we speak about the awareness in the opposition box, but he has the awareness just to drop back onto the line, saves a definite goal. And this here, other case, he tries to put a block in, but as it drops, you expect Fulham to find back of the net. Big let off.
Yeah, been a little cliche tale of two halves, really. Leeds were the best team in the first half and just couldn't finish, and Fulham had done the exact same in the second, and all the goals have come in the first half. If you're just joining us for the last few minutes of this 23s contest, Sam Greenwood's first half goal cancelled out by Conor McAvoy's header from a set piece, and without Max Dean's agility on the goal line, then Fulham could have had a second goal from a corner as Leeds put them on the back foot. Leeds haven't done that too much today, played the ball into the channels for the likes of Max Dean to get in behind on and stretch the play. Here now is Jenkins to Casey. Casey's got Huggins out wide. McCarran, the man in behind. Huggins for now ignores him. This time he doesn't though. And McCarran does well to actually cushion that and bring it under control. It was a pass that was fizzed into his feet. Here now is Casey. Casey perhaps got candidate for Man of the Match award today, alongside Eli Caprile, which is not something we've had to say too much when two defenders are the main candidates. Towards McCarran. Ben's mentioned this a couple of times. There's still plenty of time left for a goal for the Mike Jackson side there this afternoon, as Max Dean might be punished here for a free kick. He's Fulham player's going to be in some pain, McAvoy. And I think Dean's going to get a couple of dizzy spells himself. He's fearless, Max Dean. We can see that in his style of play. He's more than happy to do the hard of it. Would like to see Leeds just create one more opportunity for him, because we know what sort of, like, a bit of a fox in the box he can be, Ben.
I'm sure he'll be hoping and thinking exactly the same. As you mentioned, we've seen him time and time again this season. When he has got given a chance, he does find back of the net when he need that one.
Kenner clears away. Allen can't get a touch to it. Dean's had to do an awful lot of running since coming off the bench at half-time. It was Dean, Huggins and Allen, the three subs for Shackleton, Somerville and Greenwood. So you lost a lot of 23's experience, and now knowing Kenner's got to get back here. Fulham towards goal. Eli Caprile stands up, wins the first, and the ball clips the bar for the second. Eli Caprile has been on hand yet again. Now I think he's trying to claim to the referee that maybe perhaps Leeds should have had a decision their way. Not sure if it was offside that they were claiming for, Ben. I'm not sure if you've seen something, but knowing Kenner wasn't the right side, he didn't look offside from there. Once he'd shrugged them off, I'm not sure really what they were trying to complain about, to be honest.
To be fair, it stood big. Yeah, like Caprile. Yeah, the shot kind of straight at him, but you've seen keepers try and gamble one way or the other, go to ground early. If he did that in that instance, it'd have been 2-1 Fulham end. So they got let off the game by the rebound. Got to do a lot better there, but thankfully he didn't. Just one of these games, so difficult this second half for the boys. Just stuck in there. Roder's luck at times.
I just think that's the sort of pass that perhaps I would have thought that Leeds would do a bit more of. Go for territory, force Fulham to turn back, play for throw-ins, and let Leeds try and pen them in a little bit. They just haven't had that opportunity or that control. They've sometimes gone for the ambitious runs. Jenkins has done that a few times. He's very effective with it. This time he controls it and goes wide to McKinstry. You can see the bobbling pitch as McKinstry takes control. Camwa's not had too much service. It's a short pass to him. Camwa stops. Drame does well to take Tiehi off the ball. And now he is going to try and get that attack going himself. He spreads the play wide to Huggins. McCarran's on the inside in the number 3 shirt for Leeds. Huggins is forced wide. To the byline he goes. He skips inside to McCarran, who just for a second backs out of the challenge. Both teams appeal again, and Leeds are told that it is not a corner and it will be a throw, much to the disgust of Niall Huggins. Again, though, with Leeds in this area of the pitch, they've got so many players that can just come up with something, a moment of magic. Allen towards the edge of the penalty box. McCarran to the edge of the box has moved. He's now got the ball now. Huggins will be behind him. He picks him out. Leeds need a bit more movement to help out Niall Huggins. He tries to do it all on his own. The Fulham player goes to ground. McCarran stands in, but again, he's not strong enough in the tackle. Not sure whether the card was going to affect him, but there's a couple of times this afternoon, Ben, since the card, that you think if he goes in with a bit more full-blooded, he can ride the challenge and attack, but he's gone the opposite way as Drame to Dean. Dean's out-muscled, and again, it's a big challenge for him. He's playing against two big, powerful centre-halves. Here is Kamwa, always looking for the pass. Jenkins, Casey's come up for support. 1.5 minutes to go of regulation time. Can Leeds ride the storm and go and get what looked like a winning goal? Great ball in from Huggins. Oh, it's just a bit too far in front. Allen is clipped. Referee said it's a fair enough challenge as Ollie Casey decides to play a bit of kick-ups with himself. Heads it back to Elijah Caprile. I know Capril's made some big saves. It'd be my man of the match between them two, Ben. I don't know if you've got a preference between them.
No, I think Eli's been really good. As you mentioned, produced some big saves, big moments, and really kept us in the game in the second half. You touched upon moments earlier as well, Tom. Game of two halves. We were the best team in the first, Fulham best team in the second. So on the balance, you'd say a point's a fair result, but should we go nick all three?
Yeah, I'd love that to happen, Ben, as Huggins turns away. Good ball in behind to Dean, who's just pulled wide. He just doesn't have the strength to hold off the Fulham right back, who's been a bit of a thorn in Leeds' side this afternoon. He has been impressive, Luciano Diora-Henry. And he wins a set piece and just has to stretch out again. There's a few bodies just struggling. Stoppage time awaits. Huggins' header towards Drame. Now Drame's got space to go and attack. Will he go and use it? Kamwa's all the time trying to tell him what to do. McKinstry made an advancing run. Now Kamwa's wrestled away. He does have that power, but the pass is poor from Bobby Kamwa. Ball down the line. Drame heads it. Just goes for touch. The fourth official board is up, and it is the 3 minutes of stoppage time. So 3 minutes for Leeds United to try and find a winner. Let's hope it is a Leeds United winner rather than another goal at the other end. Leeds will look to make it at 5 unbeaten by just avoiding defeat. McKinstry goes to ground early. It's a decision that gets him a throw. And Drame decides to get out of the way because he'll be needed from a defensive point of view for this throw. Here is Kamwa having to do the hard work. His pass is very risky. Jenkins actually bails him out. McCarran, great turn. Turns his man. Now will Fulham bring him down, or will they let the play? They try to. Huggins is on the overlap. Huggins turns inside. This is Leeds United's moment. He turns it to Dean. Dean finishes towards the corner. It's saved. And the advantage was played. That was Leeds United's chance. 2 minutes of stoppage time to go. The card comes out for the pullback. Max Dean was onside. And I think he does everything right. He goes opposite corner. You can see how annoyed he is with himself. But McCarran is chopped. You could see it coming, Ben, that the attack was there and they just wanted to take the card and take Liam McCarran out of the game. But the best moment in the second half for Leeds, everything clicked perfectly well. Yeah,
it was by far the best moment for us in the second half, right at the end of the game. And we were kind of jokingly saying, shall we have all 3 points? Well, that was the moment to do it, and I fully backed Max Dean to find back of the net. Obviously, where the body's position he was, the way the ball fell to him, he had to telegraph where he was going to go, try and just guide it into that far corner. Just set it too close to the goalkeeper, unfortunately.
Yeah, frustrated. Not sure whether he had time for a touch. I think he did everything. Movement, stayed onside. Now Huggins could have gone for goal as well. Let's not forget that. He tried to make it as easy as possible for his teammates, as that's a difficult header to adjust to. Leeds win the second. Fulham go forward. Drame, after a 5-minute spell of pressure, has settled things down and just helped Leeds out. He's going to go down the line now, looking for Allen. Fulham bring the ball under control. There's 30 seconds left. Leeds have to be careful here that it's not 30 seconds in which they have to defend their own goal. And that now is a throw. And it looks as if Fulham have run out of chances themselves. Do Leeds have one final trick up their sleeve? One final ambitious team move? Jenkins towards Allen, who's been pulled left, right and centre. This time Allen holds them off. It's good work from him. He looks down the line for Dean. Keeper's come off his line. Bit of confusion. And it's still going to be forced wide. Here is Huggins. Fulham panicking themselves. Huggins plucks it out of the sky and prods it centrally. It's not centrally enough to find Kamwa or Dean. Casey wide. Referee looks at his watch. And Niall Huggins might have one final run into the box. He looks for the run of Dean. McCarran takes it away from him, and it's a touch that proves vital as the referee does blow up for full time. And after a pretty end-to-end game, a very chaotic finish in stoppage time, the points are shared. Sam Greenwood's goal cancelled out by Conor McAvoy at the London School of Economics as it's finished here on LUTV. Fulham's under-23s won, Leeds United 23s won. Thanks again, Ben, for joining us, and we'll be back next week for the final game of the season. It is Leeds United versus Burnley.
Looking better now, your hair's been cut, to be fair. Just alright.